Hello, welcome. I'm Joe, and today we're going to make a round crossbody bag. All the cutting instructions and materials will be placed in the description below. These are all recycled materials that I'm using. This is an old bed sheet and a pair of jeans. It's already backed with foam interfacing. We have a zipper, and we're going to add some curding to the exterior of the bag for contrast. Let's begin by sewing the curding. So this is my cording that I'm using. It's about 1/8 in diameter. So the width of my fabric is 1¼ inches. I want to have about a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So it's 1/2 inch on both sides and a 1/4 inch to accommodate the cording. Now, to find the length of your fabric and cording, you have to find the circumference of your circle. So the circle as it is right now is 11 inches. So you multiply 11 inches by 3.14, and that's pi. Don't worry about it if you don't understand, but just multiply 3/14 by the diameter of your circle, and that will give you the circumference. Or you can take your cording and you can measure it around the circumference of your circle, and that can tell you as well. Or you can use your measuring tape and go around the circle and get your measurements in that way as well. So let's carry on. So I'm going to place also make the piping and fabric about 1 inch or 2 longer than what you need, so you have some give. So I'm going to place my cording in the center of my fabric, fold it over in half, matching the raw edges, and then I'm going to sew close to the cording. Let me show you what I have. And once you do that, this is what you'll have. Okay, so this is our finished pin. As you can see, we have a little extra at the end. I didn't sew it all the way to the end because I need to overlap, and I may need to trim this as well. So when we're adding it, we'll see how that goes. So let's add this finished cording. We'll do the other one around the circumference of our circle. So I'm placing this as a contrast on my exterior piece. So let's do that. I marked the center points of my circle, so you could start at one of the center points. I'm not going to go exactly, as I said, I'm not going to start from the end. I'm going to start a little ways in because I want to be able to overlap. Okay, so I've completed pinning around the circumference of the circle, and as you can see, we have an overlap because I did that on purpose. And so I'm going to trim this one a bit down. So we have a little flap, and this one is going to fit inside of there. So we're going to measure, and they should bounce together right here. So I'm going to cut here. I'm going to place this one inside of the other one. Let's take off a bit more. Okay, great. We're going to do clip. Just make sure you can see what I'm doing. So this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to sew around close to my cording. So I've completed adding the piping around the perimeter or the circumference of the exterior pieces. Now we're going to add pockets to the front and the back. So these are the pockets I recycled from my jeans. I'm going to add one in the center of each of the exterior pieces. I'm just going to eyeball it and line it up. Or you can be precise by finding the center points and lining it up to make sure that it is exactly in the center. Now I'm going to sew around these two pieces. I'm going to come in about 1/2 inch on the top here just to hold it in place, because you know this area goes through a lot, which you're putting and taking out stuff out of your bags. So I'm going to go around. I may or may not go around a second time. And so our lining, our two exterior pieces, we've attached the pockets here in the center. The difference between these two pockets, this one is laying flat, if you can see that. As you can see, it's laying very flat. And the other one is not as flat. It has a bit of puckering because I started sewing from the outside, went around, and then sewed on the inside. And the other one, I sewed from the inside and then went around and sewed the outside. So this one has a puckering. It added some texture to the pocket. I don't mind it at all. So you can do from the outside in or the inside out, whichever you prefer. I've cut 3 pieces for the lining. One is going to be a slip pocket. So this is the back piece, back lining, and the other one that is going to be our slip pocket. So let's set the third piece aside for now. So they're all the same size. What I'm doing here is, on the back piece, I found the center of it, and then I marked 1 inch up from the center. And that is where I will place my pocket. The top of my pocket will land here. I don't want it to be exactly a half because I find it's too low. So I'm going to raise it up here. So this is how it will fit. So you're going to match the bottom edges. Line up the bottom edges nicely. And the top here is going to land at the line that we created. And I folded. And and then I marked 1/2 inch down from that line here, and I'm going to cut this away, and then I'm going to fold under and sew across here. I'll cut this away, and I'm going to fold under so this is what we want. So I'm going to take this, just this top piece here, and I'm going to sew down close to the bottom edge. I use the longer stitch length, 3 mm, and this is what we've got. Now we're going to take the pocket piece and match the raw edges with the lining back like this. If you want, you can press this down to make sure it's laying flat. Then I'm going to pin. I'm using my ruler and I'm going to mark down the center. So you're going to sew down here as well. I'm going to sew here first, and then I'm going to go around the outside. So our pocket is now sewn in place. Just know that you can add interfacing to your lining and your pocket piece. Well, not the pocket piece because there's no backing on the pocket. But for your lining piece, if you want it to be more firm and sturdy, you have the option of adding some lightweight interfacing to the back side. So now we're going to adhere our lining to our exterior pieces. So this is my back exterior piece, so I'm going to add this pocket section. We're going to place them wrong sides together, pin, and then we're going to sew them in place. I will repeat for the other two pieces. So here we have both our lining pieces pinned and ready to be sewn. Make sure that your pockets are facing the same direction on both the lining and exterior piece, like this, instead of one up and one down, and then that would be a problem. So just make sure they're both in the same direction. Make sure your fabrics are smooth. And now we're going to sew around the perimeter to hold the lining and exterior pieces together on both sides. These pieces are complete, and we'll continue by sewing up our zipper and gusset. These are our zipper panels. We're going to cut this in half, so we have two pieces, two exterior and two lining. They're already backed with foam. I did not back my lining. I don't think it's necessary, but you can do it if you so choose. So we have 4 pieces now, and our zipper. Again, all the measurements will be down in the description. So we're going to take one of our exterior pieces, place it right sides up, and our zipper, we're going to place it right side down. Match the edges. You can center it up. I mark the center of the zipper and the center of my panel. Line up the center and pin. If you want to, you can just sew across here to secure the 2 pieces. If you want to go a bit faster, you can place the lining piece on the other side so that you have a sandwich with the zipper in the center. Pin. Again, make sure you find the center. So we have the zipper in the center, lining and exterior pieces on the outside. Lining and exterior are right sides together. We're going to take this to our sewing machine using our zipper foot, and we're going to sew down. Then we're going to repeat for the other two pieces. Pull the two pieces away from the zipper. And you use your hands to kind of press it. Finger press is what you call this. Feel free to use an iron if you prefer. You can also pin before you stitch just to make sure that everything stays. If you're new to sewing, you may want to do more pinning than the average sewer. Just to make sure everything is lined up and neat. So you can have a good looking finished product. So as you can see here, I pinned. I don't really like to press, but best practice is to press. Let's continue. Make sure to remember to change your thread color to match your fabric. At the moment I have both the peach thread on, and if I top sewed it will have peach here. If you're going for contrast, then you can go ahead and it won't be a problem. But I don't want contrast, so I'm going to have to change my top thread to black. So this is our completed top stitching. Let's do the other side. Okay, this is what we have at this stage. Our zipper panel is now complete. Just don't look at the sewn in the back. I have to fix the tension again. However, I've sewn around the outside edge just to hold everything in place nicely. This step is optional, but I just wanted to do it. Now we are going to work on the base of the bag. This is a tab from the jeans that I used. I'm going to add it to the base. This is our base, back with interfacing, foam interfacing, and this is the lining section, no interfacing. So I'm going to add my label on one side. 2 inches down from the top edge, we're going to place that and sew it in place. I've already stitched on my label, and I'm going to add the lining, wrong sides together, with the exterior piece, and stitch around the perimeter. The base of the bag is now complete with the label is adhered to it, and we're going to set this aside. So for a D-ring tab, the width of this is 3/4 of an inch. So to find out how much fabric you will need, you can multiply 3/4 of an inch 4 times, and I will tell you how wide your fabric needs to be to get the 3/4 that you need at the end of folding it 4 times. So I think I'm going to do things, let's see, let's fold this into the center. I didn't mark the center. Let's mark the center. And we're going to fold in the raw edges towards the center, as such. Fold again, and this will give us 3/4 of an inch wide. Let's see. There you go. This will be a D-ring tab. I'm going to sew around the perimeter of this. This is our strap tab, and we're going to cut it in half so we can have 2. Choose the side you prefer. Fold it down. I'm going to pin this until I'm ready to use it. And set this aside. Now we're going to add our D-ring tabs to each end of the base. Find the center and place it there. It's a bit thick, so if you don't mind the raw edges, you can just fold it in half. Instead of 4 layers, you can just use 2 layers. But we'll see if my machine can handle it. So that's one in place. This is where we'll connect our crossbody strap. So we're going to sew across. In order to balance my sewing machine foot, I'm using the top handle piece to build the flat area underneath the foot so that it will balance. Let's make sure you can see. Fold it in half, and I'm going to place it right next to my tab and then go under the machine foot. Make sure and use the wheel to lower your foot, the needle exactly where you want it, and then begin. Place it around the front. And we're going to back stitch. So one side is on, we're going to do the other one. Now we're going to sew the zipper and the base together. So we're going to place them right sides together. And pin. You can sew that one side first using 1/2 inch seam allowance. You're going to get as close to the zipper as possible, or even just over the zipper. I should have added a zipper tab here to make up for the space, but I forgot. So you have a bit of space here because I use zipper tape and not So it's not as finished, it's not a finished edge as it would have been if I was using the regular zipper. This is a zipper tape that I had to cut to the length that I desired. So if you're using zipper tape and you didn't put an extension here, a zipper tab, like I didn't, you can just come as close as you can, but that may reduce the size of the gusset too much. So maybe just, we don't want to go too far over the 1/2 inch seam allowance. So maybe just to the edge, just to make sure that it's finished and looks neat. So let me do one side first and show you. So I'm trying to line up my foot. I'm placing my needle to the extreme right or to the outside, and then I want to line up this zipper with the foot to make sure that I can just get it just to the edge there. I missed. Almost got it to the edge, just over the edge, but let me show you what it will look like. Although this is blocking that space, but this is the strap, so when you have the so it's just here, and as you can see there's the raw edge of the zipper. So what I wanted to do is just clip the edge here, just so that we don't have this opening. So I'm going to go over it once more and try and clip it, so that when I pull back like this, you can see the raw edge. Okay, so I went over it once more and I clipped the zipper just a bit as I wanted. And so on this side, when you pull back the tab, this is how it will look. You don't see the raw edge here anymore. Okay, so this is what you want. That looks good. We're gonna finish the other end. So the base of the bag is longer than the zipper section. So just pull it back and match the raw edges again. Line up everything nicely in the center. I should have made my zipper 15 inches instead of 14. That way it would have reached to the edge and I won't have this space. So I'm going to make that correction in the measurements that I will give to you in the description. So instead of 14 inches long, it will be 15 inches to cater for the 1/2 inch space there. So our gusset is now sewn up. The base is attached to the zipper panel for the circular effect. To complete this section, we'll just do the top stitching. So we're going to push the seam allowance down towards the base, and we're going to sew across about 1/4 inch on both sides. So we're top stitching now. Okay, so I've completed one side, finished top stitching one side. My sewing machine had trouble with the bulk, and so what I had to do was come back here, and this is the seam allowance for the tab, the D-ring tab, I'm going to trim away one layer. And this should help. Make sure you're not trimming these two. Just the tab, one of the tabs, because we still want to make sure that our tab is secure. So we're just going to trim away one. I choose to trim the one that is towards the base. So I'm going to put this back down like this. And then I'm going to sew across. Hopefully it works this time. Okay, so that worked. I didn't have any trouble this time. So we've top stitched on both sides, and this is what our gusset looks like. Complete gusset, ready to be attached to the main body of the bag. We have one of the exterior body. We have it right sides up, and we're going to place it right sides together with the gusset and pin in place. You need to put slits all around both sides of the gusset so that it will spread and lay nicely against the exterior pieces. So I've sewn all the sides of the bag together, the gusset, the two exterior pieces, and the final step is to finish the raw edges. Oh, and make sure when you're sewing your exterior pieces to the gusset, make sure your zipper is open. But even if it was closed, it would be easy to open from the outside in this way, but you can also leave it open. I'm now going to finish the edges using some binding. I'm applying my 1/2 inch wide binding over the edge like this, pin, and try to sew as close to the end as possible. It's one side complete. So this is our completed round or circle crossbody bag. I did a bit of piping in the lining fabric for a bit of contrast, this material that I use for making this bag came from an old pair of jeans. So this is one of the pockets from the jeans. And we have the other one on the other side. So we have two pockets on the exterior. We have our D-ring tabs on both sides for attaching our strap. And on the inside, we have two slip pockets in case if you want to drop anything on the inside there. So that's our bag. You can attach a tassel if you like, or a zipper pull. And this is the strap for the bag. I made the strap in a previous video. You can check it out. I will place a link in the description and somewhere in the cards, so you can see how to make this bag. The strap is not an adjustable strap. As you can see, there's no bar for adjusting. I added a tab so I can attach a smaller bag to the strap as well. This is the smallest circle bag that I made in my last video. It's on my channel right now. You can check it out. I will also link this in the description. And on the back of this one has a tab that you can connect to the strap. And so you can hang like this, and you can put anything you want inside, and it's like you're doubling up on your bags, you're layering. And then you attach this one to the big bag. So there you have it. You have a crossbody strap and a smaller bag that you can attach to your strap. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you will subscribe to my channel and check out my other bag making tutorials. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.